Let's start. It's our social studies class, children. And in the previous class, we had studied about the chapter India's freedom struggle. In that, we had studied how India struggled about for freedom, about its needs, about what they want, what people want, for freedom fighters. There were so many types of revolutionaries. People were there who wanted to throw Britishers out. Then Gandhi ji came, how he moved, he was able to give different types of satyagrah, which leads into the decision of peace and non-violence, which ultimately made India free from Britishers. Now, once India is free, now how India is going to work? What are the policies? What are the administrative rules? What are the laws? That we are going to study in this chapter. That after independence, who is going to make laws, on what policies, on what decisions the India is going to rule. So, political administration of India means the rules, the policies, the laws according to which Indian democracy is going to work. How it is going to work? What are the functions of the judicial system? What are the functions of the legislature? What are the functions of Rajya Sabha? All this we are going to study in this chapter. Page number 136. Come under the heading Political Administration of India. Keep pencils in your hand. Whatever will be important points, I am going to ask you to mark. All right. The government of India, officially known as the Union Government and also known as the central government. Underline. What is the central government known? Indian government is known by two names, the Union Government and the central government. What is the central government right now? Who is the prime minister right now? Which government is going on in the central? You all know? Yes, Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi. He is the Prime Minister, and NDA is, yes, the government. So, central government is also known as the Union Government. Two names are there. Then we move forward. And when it was established by the Constitution of India and is the governing authority of Union of 29 states and 7 union territories. How many states are there in India? 29. And how many union territories are there? 7. So, in all the states of India and in all the union territories, whose rule is going on? Central government rules all states and central government only rules the union territories. And it is seated in New Delhi. Now, where is the center of that central government? New Delhi. Yes, the capital of India. And we all know New Delhi is the capital of India. This paragraph is clear. This paragraph says Indian government is known by two names, the central government and the union government. And the government was established by the Constitution of India, and it has the power to rule 29 states of India, means all the states, and 7 union territories, means all the union territories. Okay? Which and where is the center of the government? The center of the government is in New Delhi, which is also the capital of our country. Clear? Let's move on further for another paragraph. India is a democracy. We already know India is a democratic country. Now, when we say India is a democracy, what we understand by that? What does the word democracy means? Democracy means where people choose the government. People have the right to vote and then choose the government for themselves. That this method of choosing the government with the vote of public is known as democratic country or democracy. So India is the world's largest democratic country. Then, before its independence, keep reading in the book, before its independence, its future leaders chose the liberal democratic system. And when we celebrate our Republic Day, when the rules and policies came into existence, when the law came, 26th January 1950. 26th January is about to come also. So we all know why 26th January is celebrated. 26th January is celebrated because on that day the constitution was formed. The laws, the policies on which the country is going to work and going to rule for future years, that was formed. Then India is a democracy. Before its independence, its future leaders chose the liberal democratic system as the administration system of India. On 26th January 1950, India declared itself as a republic. On this day, the Constitution of India came into force. We already know, and I have already explained you that on 26th January 1950, Republic was Constitution was made, and we declared India as a democratic country, as a republic country. Then, now comes the main part of the chapter. There are three branches on which the rules, the policies, the laws are made and they are followed. What are the three branches? The government comprises of three branches. Underline, it is very important. The executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. The executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. These are the three main branches on which the policies, the laws, and the working of India's democratic thing lies. Okay? Now, we are going to study about all these three branches separately and in detail. So, which is the first branch? First branch is executive. First branch is executive. Yes, so we are going to study about executive branch. Now read. Yes, the executive branch is headed by the president, who is the head of the state, and exercises his or her power directly or through officers subordinate to them. Underline, executive branch is headed by the president, who is the President of India currently. Answer me. Who is the current President of India? Currently, who is the President? Ramnath Kovind. Atharv, very good. Yes, Atharv answered. And then Mehndi Abbas answered. Very nice. Mr. Ramnath Kovind is the President of India currently. So, who is the head of executive branch? The head of executive branch is the President. And he works accordingly. He has the power through his officers or subordinates who work under him. This is the first branch. First branch, head is President. Come on to the second branch. Underline. The legislative branch or the parliament consists of the lower house. Now it has two parts. Legislative have two parts. The Lok Sabha, also known as upper house, and the Rajya Sabha, as well as the president. Underline the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Lower house, Lok Sabha, upper house, Rajya Sabha. Executive had only one branch, that is president, controlled by president. Legislative have two parts. The Lok Sabha, upper branch, upper house, and the Rajya Sabha, lower house. This much is clear. Now come on to the third important branch. Third is the judicial branch. What all comes in that? The judicial branch, underline, has the Supreme Court at its apex, 21 high courts, and numerous civil, criminal, and family courts at the district level. Now, judiciary means Supreme Court, High Court, District Courts, lower level courts, all these things which deals with the disputes or with the things where a fair decision has to be taken. So, in political administration, we had studied till now that India is a democratic country. It declared itself a republic on 26 January 1950. But how it's going to work further? For that, it has three main branches. First, the executive. Second, the legislative. Third, the judiciary. In legislative, that is in executive, the head is president. In legislative, there are two parts: the upper house, Lok Sabha, and the lower house, Rajya Sabha. Alright? Then comes the judiciary, the third part. In that, the Supreme Courts are there, the High Courts are there, and other district level decision making courts are there. So these are the three branches of which India works. Now we are going to study about who elects president, who elects prime minister, what is the work of executive, what is the work of legislature, what is the work of upper house, Lok Sabha, what is the work of lower house, Rajya Sabha. We are going to study further. Let's take one more paragraph. Nominally, the head of the country is the president, under whom all executive powers are vested. But the real administrator of the country is who? Okay. On papers, officially, the head of the country is president. But who has the power to make the country move and work? Who is in the work? Prime Minister. Yes, we all know. Yes. Who you see more on television, Mr. Ramnath Kovind or Mr. Modi? Who you see more on? Who take decisions? Who comes and deals with Mr. Prime Minister? Yes. So no doubt, very good, very good. So no doubt, President is the head of the country, but who works more and who has the power to take the decision and make the country move? The Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, yes, under whom all executive powers are vested, but the real administrator of the country is the Prime Minister. After the national elections are held, the President calls the most suitable candidate to form the government known as the central government. Now, how central government is formed? First, elections are there, then voting is there. After voting, counting is there. And when after counting, what happens? Whichever party wins, the President calls the most suitable candidate from that party to be the head of the party and become the Prime Minister. Alright? Then, nominally, the candidate is the head of the largest party in the parliament. In case the government resigns because of any reason, the president can call some other candidate to form the government. Now, for example, sometimes what happens, the government resigns, the government does not get support and it resigns, then president has the power to call some other candidate and make that person the prime minister. For example, you take smaller example of your class. I select somebody, I am the president, I am selecting somebody as the monitor. Now, after some time, if that monitor resigns or I feel that that person, that child is not able to control the class, then I can call another candidate and make that person or that child monitor. Same thing happens here. The president calls the person the most suitable person. Okay, and which party person? The party who wins, not any party. The party who wins from that party, the president calls the person and make him the give the powers. But if by chance in future the party resigns or the person is not able to continue, the president can also change the candidate. This much is clear to everybody. Yes? All right. So, based on this, what we had studied today, let's do one exercise. Let's do one exercise based on today's explanation. Open page number 140. Page number 140. Tick the correct options. The main branch of the central government is Parliament, High Court, Lower Court, Judiciary. There are three main branches, out of which name is given here? Very good. The judiciary, because three branches are executive, legislative, judiciary. So which is the branch given here? Judiciary. So put a tick mark on option B. Judiciary. Next point. The highest court in the country is the highest court. Then we move to district level, then we move to high court, and then we move to Supreme Court. Yes, Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the answer. Supreme Court is the highest court. Next point. Yes, yes. The head of the state is called the. Who is the head of your state, Uttar Pradesh? Chief Minister Adityanath Yogi. Mr. Adityanath Yogi. Yes. So Chief Minister is the answer. Second one is Supreme Court, Manvi. Highest court is Supreme Court. Chief Minister. Then the fourth one, the number of the members of the Lok Sabha. How many members are there? 543. 543. Yes. Very good. 543 members are there. All right. So this exercise is clear to everybody. I'm repeating the answers. If you have any doubt, kindly recheck. The main branch of the central government is the judiciary. Recheck the answers. The highest court in the country is the Supreme Court. Number 3, the head of the state is called the Chief Minister. Number 4, the number of the members of the Lok Sabha are 543. Clear? Now your homework is the portion of the chapter that I've explained, that portion you have to read again and learn the exercises that we had done today. Clear? Okay. Any other doubt? Any query? Read the portion that I've explained again and complete the work, learn the exercise. Okay? All right.